Sauce with a concussion, so they've been in protocol. All right, so we'll see how that operates for the week. Guys that are day to day. All right, Garrett, Cam, Jay, Stone Smart, Tyrod, Brees, Stiggers. Those guys are day to day. All right, so we'll see how that goes. A lot of these guys, I feel real confident about those guys being a part of practice this weekend and planning in the game. MC2 is he's practicing today, so he can get clear from his concussion protocol. And Quincy is a return to practice, right? So we're excited about that. So those are the injuries that we have. When it comes to this team that we are playing, man, they have two elite receivers. There's not a lot that need to be talked about as far as who they are. Those guys are two of the best in the league. We have to do a lot and give those guys a lot of attention. I'm a big fan of what Zach does when it comes to offense. So, man, we have to be on our P's and Q's. It's going to be a challenge for us. It really is because of those guys and what they present. And there will be times where, man, our front and our linebackers got to do a really good job of stopping this run, right? Because those guys need some attention. We know that. When it comes to this defense, I have a lot of respect for this coach. It kind of reminds me of exactly where we are at the start of the season of him trying to get his system in. There's a lot of moving parts when it comes to the players on their defense. But he has a multiple front, multiple coverage type of outfit. So our offense have to be on point when it comes to exactly what they're doing and how they're trying to do it. The focus of this week, or really of the day, is we're trying to make sure that we get 1% better today. Right, and that's the focus. We all know that there's no way of consistently winning without improving. So our job is to go out today and improve. I thought we had a good walkthrough. Obviously, we got to go out and practice and have a good practice. But every day, that's the thought process of us is to improve again, because there's no way of consistently winning without doing that. So again, excited about this week. Excited about the opponent we're going against. Happy that our players are engaged and ready to go out to practice. We understand exactly where we are. No one's happy being 0-7, but it is what it is. All right, and we got to dig ourselves out of this hole. And the only way you dig yourself out of this hole is making sure you go out and you improve every day. So that's what we're after. So any questions?
Who's your quarterback, AJ?
We will have a quarterback on Sunday. I would tell you that.
You're not going to announce who starters?
I wouldn't want to give them a competitive advantage when I have that opportunity, but we will have a quarterback.
The list was long. So for
Yeah.
Tyrod, did you say what his day today?
Yes.
What is he dealing with?
He's dealing with a knee. That's something that he had before.
So just, you know who your starting quarterback is going to be. You're just not announcing it. So it isn't like this week is a competition where you're going to have.
I know who the starting quarterback is going to be.
Okay, you're just not telling me.
Yeah.
Aaron, how do you navigate Woody's comments yesterday? Obviously, very pointed about Justin, and
Yeah.
in the locker room, you want everybody to be all together as one, and he's singling somebody else. So how do you navigate that between those two worlds?
Well, the first thing I would say, he's an owner, and he has a right to his opinion. And when you look at that, it's really something that's been said across the board from everybody, including Justin. Man, we have to improve, and we understand that. We've gone 2 games without scoring a touchdown, and we have to make sure we get better in that aspect. So we're all on the same page. It might be said different. It might be said with different tones, but we've all been on the same page when it comes to that, when it comes to our running back play, when it comes to our quarterback play, when it comes to our defensive play. So nothing's different about what we've done. We just said it in a different tone, in a different way. So I'm glad we're on the same page on that, even with our quarterbacks. So we're just fine with that.
How much involvement does he have in the quarterback decision this week?
Woody leaves all that up to me.
Did you, some of the things that Woody said about Justin were tough, and they were aggressive a bit, I think might be one way to describe it.
Yep.
Have you spoken to Justin at all about that? Has Justin come to you to express his opinion?
I've spoken to the team about it, but there's so many other things that we have to talk about. Again, we're all on the same page, and we know exactly what we have to do in that, that instance. But the thing that I've been talking about is how we're going to win this game, and that's been the focus for us, not the other stuff. We know, what's going on with that. We just have to make sure we focus on this game.
I just want to follow on that for a little bit. Woody made his position pretty clear yesterday with the comments.
Yep.
Does that impact? I mean, we know how he feels about Justin. Clearly, not want him playing, but does that impact your?
What made you say,
Well,
did he say that?
Well, he was very critical of him, so.
What did he say?
He said he couldn't complete a pass.
Did that say he doesn't like the quarterback?
He said.
Did that say does quarterback's not playing?
No, but I'm
No,
asking
he
you
said-
how that his opinion impact your decision when
Yep.
your owner is basically stating that he doesn't think Justin Fields is getting the job done.
Well, I said before that Woody puts that in my hand as far as who plays, and I don't see that changing. He trusts me to make that decision. Again, he made a comment, and he has every right to his comment. And again, that comment was actually said by a number of guys, including our quarterback, as far as the efficiency of how we play. And we're not going to fight that. We understand that. We have to get better. We do. But I don't think there's anywhere in that comment where he said he doesn't like Justin. I don't think there's anywhere in that comment where he says that Justin's just, I don't think so. Yes, is he upset that, we haven't completed a pass as far as what you just said he said? I didn't even read it, so I don't know. That's what he says. But overall, we're on the same page when it comes to that.
What's your
Comments around-
confidence level in Justin?
I have all the confidence in the world in Justin. I have all the confidence in the world in Tyrod. I have all the confidence in the world in Brady. He's a rookie, and he still has to improve as far as how we're doing things, but I have all the confidence in the world in those guys. And the reason why I have confidence, because I have confidence in the coaching staff also, be to help those guys navigate through what they're going through right now.
Woody's comments made it sound like he believes the only reason this team is 0-7 is quarterback play.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something you think is accurate, or do you disagree with that?
Well, I think that's the one thing that was pinpointed that he said. But I know for a fact that there's other things within that comment that he feels that's the reason why we're 0-7. And I understand that, and he knows that. He knows that. There's a number of things. Defensively, we weren't playing well early. All right, we finally got that going. Offensively, obviously, the quarterback play was and listen, we're still navigating through that. Our run game, we got to get our run game going back to where it needs to go. And we're trying to navigate through that also. Our protection, we got to get better at our protection. There's a number of things. I think that was just the only thing that was actually focused on at that point.
But it is noteworthy, though, when somebody of Woody's stature within the organization, the owner of the team,
Yep,
does single out a player like that,
absolutely.
makes those remarks. And we haven't talked to him yet. I assume
Yeah.
we probably will at some point today. Justin,
Yeah,
to hear that from not a coach, not a teammate, but the owner
Yeah.
publicly to the media, I know if it was me, I probably wouldn't receive that super well.
well, I'm glad Justin's not you.
Yeah, but
More ways than one.
yeah. So do you feel seriously though, like, do you feel the need? I know you talked to the team.
Yeah.
Do you feel the need to speak with Justin specifically about that?
Absolutely. But you know what? The conversation between me and Justin, me and Tyrod, and me and Brady is, man, we're trying to go win a game. That's where our conversation is going to be pointed towards. None of that stuff there. Because someone got to go play quarterback, and we got to go beat this team.
Take a couple more.
Coach, pushing this conversational forward and getting maybe a little bit philosophical.
Yeah.
In your career in life, sometimes you get in these seasons where you're hit with adversity on every side.
Absolutely.
Trying to get that first win, dealing with the owner's comments, which we understand you're kind of skating on thin ice. How do you want your team to see how you respond to adversity when it's coming from multiple ways? And what will that do for them as men off the field and on the
Yeah.
field trying to get that first one as well?
I think I've said this on a number of occasions. To me, I look at all of this as a challenge. And being able to work ourselves out of this hole that we've dug. And I think the number one thing that you have to do is you can't waver in these type of situations. You have to have a plan. You have to have a process that you believe in. And even though that message might come across different, it's really the same message day after day. I tell our guys that they can't get tired of repetitive content. And that repetitive content has to do everything about, like at this point, man, how do we dig out of this hole and be able to move forward? And today was more of, man, we're just focusing on what we do today, on our base package, how we're going to be able to strategically beat this team in their base package, and what are the tactics we're using, all right, so that strategic plan can work. So to me, that's the one thing that I focus on, and I think it's just me, it's my personality. Look, I'm down for a challenge, and being in this city with everything that's going on, knowing there's a storm that's going on around us, man, I want to stay focused. I want our coaches to stay focused, and I want our players to stay focused on what's the task at hand.
AJ, you have, you've talked about being through 0 and whatever, a couple
Yeah.
of Detroit, New Orleans. I don't think very many guys in your room have been 0 and 7 or, gone deep, this deep. I'm just kind
Yeah.
of curious what the psychological element of that is for these guys, and you
Yeah.
have to kind of talk them through some things, with that, when you are like, I mean,
Yeah.
even yourself, you're waiting for your first NFL victory as head coach.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure that's wearing,
Yeah, it's just in general, it's tough because everything's magnified, when you're in this position. And it's funny to me because you see some teams that are probably 5-2, and you see some horrendous mistakes that doesn't even get, talked about. But when you're 0 and 7, every small thing gets talked about, and that's okay, and I understand that, and rightfully so. Listen, we put ourselves in this position, and we got to dig our ass out of it, and I understand that. Man, it is just how we go about it day to day. And I think the question that the young lady just asked before was critical because I stand up in front of those men every day, and they're looking at me and seeing how I react. And I want those guys to know, listen, I'm a big believer in them. I'm a big believer in what we're doing. I'm a big believer in myself. And we have to continue to just improve every day. I mean, the thing there was the defense, man, you guys were saying the defense was just horrible. And now they've got things going in the right direction. And now we have to do that to the offense. And we know that takes time, right? But, man, we have to have a sense of urgency to try to get that going.
How confident are you that you do have those?
Thank you. Yeah, that was the last one. Thank you.
All right.